Week 16, we have our top 5 bets for you this week, as well as a 5-unit interesting football bet from our friends over at Very Biased Opinions. That and much more starting right now. So thank you everybody for joining us here at Grandstand Bettors. I'm Matt from grandstandbettors.com. Go check out our website, become part of our family, but at the very least, hit the subscribe button. Get all those free picks, free plays, and free predictions moving into 2021. And without further ado, let's get into our top 5 bets of NFL Week 16, starting with a good matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. Last time these two teams played, Arizona won 24-20. Arizona's coming off a good win against Philly, 33-26. Their defense, though, gave up 350 yards passing to Jalen Hurts. That is an enormous number by a rookie to put up. San Francisco, on the other hand, their season and their dreams of playoffs are down the drain. They lost to the Cowboys outright last week. Some of you had them minus 3.5. We'll get to those comments in just a bit, but they don't look good at all. Mullins got injured. C.J. Beathard had to come in. He threw for 100 yards and a touchdown. Looked pretty decent. Mosert's out as well, so their running game is going to be hurting, although he only had about 68 yards rushing last game. Anyway, so that might not hurt them that much. Their defense gave up only 200 yards to Andy Dalton, but they've been giving up 23 points or more, and they've done that the last 7 games. Murray, the last time they played San Francisco, rushed for 91 yards, and we expect more of the same in this game. On the flip side, the defense of Arizona is very injury-prone. They also have some questions with Fitzgerald and Edmonds. Those two might not play, but their defense, like I mentioned, secondary, they're on second, third string guys this far into the season, and they're giving up a lot of points. They do control their own destiny. If they just win out, they will be in the playoffs. They do have that banged up defense, so I think they're going to give up points. I mean, look at Jalen Hurts. He threw for 350 yards last week, and that was a rookie who shouldn't be that good against a stout defense. So I'm going to tell you right now, San Francisco and Arizona, they're going to go over 48.5. C.J. Beathard, he's a veteran quarterback. I know he's a backup, and I know, you might look at it like, okay, hey, this guy is going to come in and not be able to do much, but he knows how to move the ball, and Arizona allows you to move the ball. Arizona, on the other hand, is going to put up numbers. Hopkins and Murray are going to do what they do. They're going to put up 28, 30 points in this game, and I think San Francisco can easily get 3 touchdowns. So I like San Francisco, Arizona over 48.5. Moving on to our 4th best bet of the week. Not a lot of people are going to like this, especially because the trend of the teams involved. You have the Steelers against the Indianapolis Colts. The Steelers last week, a lot of you probably lost some money. They lost outright to the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Connor is questionable for this matchup. Roethlisberger looks awful, 170 with a touchdown and an interception. Benny Snell actually is looking pretty decent. He had 84 yards last week, and Connor maybe being out, maybe he'll get into a rhythm and be able to rush a little bit more. Their defense is really good. They only gave up about 230 yards. That's crazy. The more we talk about the Bengals-Steelers matchup, they only gave up 230 yards and lost by 10 and gave up 27 points to those Bengals. In the second half of that game, they went punt, punt, interception, fumble, punt, fumble, punt, punt. That's how the second half of their game went. That's awful. That's not good enough for Mike Tomlin. And against these Colts, they are going to have to look better. The division is still up in the air in the AFC North between the, not wearing the Browns, but between the Browns. And I hope actually the Browns can hang on and maybe win the division, but that's for another day. The Colts, on the other hand, last week, they had a tough game against the Texans. They won 27-20. They are currently the 6th seed. Rivers, once he got out of LA, he looks pretty good. 228 with 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Taylor and Hines in that backfield combined for 126 yards rushing and a touchdown. They do have a question mark on their defense, injury-wise. DeForest Buckner, is questionable. That would be a huge blow to their defense if he's out. Their defense gives up about 373 yards passing, but they've only given up 22.3 points per game. So they are having a better defensive point-wise this year. And against that Steelers offense that's struggling, you got to think they're going to put it together and maybe pull the upset. Not so fast, my friends, as Corso would say. This is in Heinz Field, and I know Pittsburgh is a tough team to play there. Steelers are getting +1, and we're going to take the Steelers. The Steelers cannot afford to lose this game. As much as I am a Browns fan, I want the Steelers to lose this game. They're not going to. They can lock up the division and then rest their players against the Browns next week. If by chance they lose this game, they're going to have to play the Browns, and it's going to have to mean something. And then they actually might have to play the Browns the following week, and that's not what they want to do. Mike Tomlin will find a way. Juju will stop doing TikTok on the people's logos, and everything will be good. It's going to come down to a field goal, and I'm going to take Boswell over Blankenship any day at Heinz Field. So Steelers +1 as our number 4 bet. Moving into our number 3 bet, it's between the Houston Texans and the Cincinnati Bengals. Houston, as we just mentioned, lost to the Colts, and the Bengals beat the Steelers. So it's the two teams that played the previous two teams in our number 4 pick. Not much to say here. Watson threw for 373 against the Colts with 2 touchdowns and an interception. I'm going to be honest with you. Watson is probably the best quarterback in the league right now, other than Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. So he's a really good statistical category guy. He's going to put up numbers, and as much as Cincinnati made Ben Roethlisberger look bad last week, I think that's a little bit on Roethlisberger. Watson's going to have a field day with Cincinnati. Finley, on the other hand, he first start, 89 yards, not great. Running game needs to help him out so he can establish that run, get a little play action going. Boyd's in concussion protocol, so he might be missing a key target. But Giovanni Bernard is a great running back. He is going to be in, and I expect them to be able to rush against a defense that gives up 150 rushing yards per game. On the flip side, the defense of the Bengals, they give up 372 yards. Their rushing gives up 128. I expect Watson to have over 50, 60 yards rushing on this team. There's going to be a lot of big plays in this game, and it's all going to predicate off of the rushing game. I do like Randall Cobb to have a nice, probably 40, 50-yard touchdown pass from Watson. And I think there's going to be big plays and points in this game. It's at a small over-under right now at 46. And I would take that. Take Houston, Cincinnati over 46. Deshaun Watson is going to put up his numbers. I expect a 300-plus game, and we'll just be interested to see if Finley in his second start can get a little more offense going with Giovanni Bernard back there to help him out. This moves us into our top 2 bets of NFL Week 16. And at number 2, we're going to have the Raiders game against the Miami Dolphins. Miami is looking like they want to be in the playoffs. But I'm going to be honest with you, Tua doesn't excite us at all. I don't like Tua. Let us know in the comments if you think Tua is going to be a future NFL great. I don't see that. He only throws for about 175 yards. Last week, it was 145 with 0 touchdowns and an interception. Yes, he rushed for 2, but both of those, he had like 4 rushes for 9 yards. They were all goal line situations. What Miami can do is run the ball. Ahmed had 122 yards rushing with a touchdown. Breida had 86. Their team ran for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns over the New England Patriots last week as they won that game. On the flip side, Las Vegas, who can stop, can they stop anybody? Las Vegas is not looking good defensively. Last week they lost to the Chargers. I know, how do you lose to the Chargers? Especially with the head coach there. Carr did get injured, and Mariota came in. Mariota, 226, 2 touchdowns, one was rushing and an interception. Jacobs had a good day rushing, 76 yards. And Waller was unbelievable. 9 catches, 150 yards, and a touchdown. Again, this is kind of like a theme in the 3 games that we've gone over already. Points and defenses that are banged up and give up a lot of yardage. You have the defense of the Oakland. Sorry, I keep saying Oakland. It's Las Vegas. Let me know if you still think of them as Oakland. But the Las Vegas Raiders, their defense over the last 3 has given up 178 rushes per game. The last 5, they've given up 28 points. And they give up about 258 yards passing per game. I know Tua isn't going to throw for 300 yards in this game, but is he going to throw it all? And that is going to be the difference in this matchup. Both of these defenses give up some yardage. Miami is the better defense here. They cause turnovers, and they do it a lot in the opposite end of the field, so they score a lot of points on offense without having to go too far. I like the over here, 47.5. That's a good number. I think both of these offenses are going to put up some yardage and some numbers. So go over Las Vegas, Miami, 47.5. And our number 1 bet of NFL Week 16 is the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. This is going to be a great matchup. It's actually for the NFC West Division, probably. Couple injuries here. Carson, Homer, both questionable. On the Rams, you got Akers, he's out. Fairbath, the kicker, he's out. Seattle won last week against Washington 20-15. The Rams, they lost to the Jets. A lot of you were on the Jets. These guys, yeah. I don't know why I'm wearing the Jets jersey this week. We'll let you know why. But they won last week, so I mean, they're a good team, right? Anyways, last time these two teams played, the Rams did beat Seattle 23-16. Wilson, 121 yards passing last week, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he had 52 yards rushing. Hyde, Carson, and Wilson all rushed combined 150 yards. It was amazing. They hung on against Haskins in that game. Haskins actually threw for about, I think, 300 some yards, 305, 306, something like that. Maybe it was 295, but it was close to 300. Their defense is awful. A big matchup in this game is going to be DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has been a shutdown corner, but I like them to pivot and go to Lockett. Do you remember that game against the Cardinals where Lockett scored 50 fantasy points? I expect that kind of day out of him tomorrow. On the flip side, you have the Rams losing to the Jets. How are they going to respond? Jared Goff, 209 last week, 2 touchdowns, interception. Akers, 63 yards. He's not playing. Woods actually had a nice carry for 40 yards to get him over the 100-yard mark as a team. The Rams have the number 1 defense. They have the number 1 rush, number 1 pass, number 1 everything defense. But the last time these two teams played, Russ Wilson ran for 60 yards. They did lose the game, but he can manage and scramble out of that pocket and pick up some first downs. And I think that's going to happen. I think Goff is going to rebound. I think Woods and Goff and Kupp, they're all going to have great games. But on the flip side, I think Seattle's going to have a good game too, and they're going to score points. I can see this game as a shootout, just up and down the field, scoring touchdowns. And at an over 47, I'm going to take that over every single day of the week. So that is our number 1 pick. I teased earlier that we have a 5-unit football play of sort from our friends at Very Biased Opinions. But first, we're actually going to give some shout-outs from last week. Steven, Pitt, man, they screwed your 3-teamer. Sorry about that. That was awful. Ken Dorsey, we'll get you an 18 teaser next week. We just didn't have time to look at that today. Oh, and before I forget, why are we wearing a Jets jersey? We're wearing a Jets jersey this week and for the rest of the season into the playoffs because our bet of the year lost. Now, Daniel Jones was out, and we didn't know that going into shooting our video. But we are transparent. That's what is the best thing about Grandstand Bettors. We'll stick by any play that we give out, even if the whole team can't play. So we are wearing a Jets jersey because somebody suggested if your bet of the year loses that you have to wear a Jets jersey. We had some other great people with some suggestions. Fang, dress like a girl. Fang, that's what I do every other day, so I didn't want to make it the same as every other day. We also had somebody say eat ghost peppers. We like spicy food. That's not really going to hurt us. This hurt us. It hurt us, number one, because we're not Jets fans, and it hurt our wallets because this was $100 that I did not want to spend, especially for a guy who doesn't even play on the team anymore, as it's Le'Veon Bell's jersey. So that's why we're wearing a Jets jersey. Back to some comments. Zaka, we were both wrong on that Seattle play, man. Wilson and the defense just couldn't hold up. Washington covered. Level 1, man, you were spot on the Browns game. Congratulations. Not so great on San Francisco, -3.5. That was kind of an egg that got laid. But you were 5-2 overall, according to you. Make sure you put all your plays down there so we know what you're playing, man, and we can give you a nice shout out. Bryant, the Browns won, man. Good job. Harry wanted us to wax our whole body. Again, we do that all the time, Harry. So we don't want to do the same thing. Jorge, good stuff, man. The Eagles over. Maybe we should have made that our play of the year. But you were 3-3 on the week. That wasn't bad. Ulissa, glad you liked it. Emerson, you did a good job on your plays. Itty Bitty, 3-0. This girl is on fire. Should have gone with Miami. I know I saw in your comments that you were going to stay away from Miami after initially you said you liked them. They actually won. You said Baltimore. I hope it wasn't money line. That's a lot to risk with the juice. But yeah, we were on Baltimore as well. That was a nice winner. Speaking of that, there were a lot of people on the Jags in our comments, including Anna Heater. Anna Heater, man, you gave us a tongue lashing about not to take the Ravens minus 13, and you were totally off. And Brooklyn, you seconded that, and you know we're gonna admit when we're wrong, but I'd like for you guys to admit when you're wrong as well. World Peace, 6-8. 6 of 8 in their 18 parlay for the second week in a row, and the 2 that they lost was the Jets and the Rams game, and the Pittsburgh and the Cincinnati game. That is heartbreaking. World Peace, I expect another 18 parlay this week. Give it to us, boy. Derek, you had 4 parlays. You lost because of Jackson. That sucks. Sean, you wanted me to wear a Bills jersey. They're too good. This is more embarrassing, man. Man, if I didn't get to your comments, we just had so many last week. Put in the comments this week your best bets. We'll give you a shout out if you win, you lose. Talk smack to us. We love it. The more smack you talk to us, the better time we have on Sunday as we watch football. But without further ado, we are going to give you a 5-unit play. And I said it's of football of some sort. It comes to us from our friends at Very Biased Opinions. And when I say football, I mean football, as it's a soccer play. Our friends at Very Biased Opinions, check out their YouTube channel. They are hilarious. They give great English Premier League predictions. And they have one for Boxing Day. It's early in the morning. And they're actually going to do a live stream of this. So go on there. They're taking over 2.5 goals between Man United and Leicester City. I'm going to tell you right now, these guys are confident. That's a winner. It's a 5-unit bet. I'm betting it 5 units already in the bank. We're going to win that bet. We're going to win all these Sunday, Saturday matchups. And we're going to have a great week. So go check out Very Biased Opinions. Just a quick recap. You have 4 overs. You have Seattle Rams over 47. You have the over of the Arizona Cardinals and San Francisco 49ers. We took Pitt +1. We have the over of the Raiders Miami over 47.5. And I forget what the last over is. Oh, Houston and Cincinnati. That's it. We have that over as well. There's going to be a ton of points. A lot of teams will lay down in Week 16, and we expect them to go up and down the field. So, hey, guys, I know this was a long video. I want to get out of here, but before I do, happy holidays. Tell me what you're doing to celebrate with your family in the comments below. I want to know. I want to get to know my family and my fans. And hey, as always, sit back, relax, Merry Christmas, and let us do the work for you while you do the winning.